Failure is something that I used to think if I could avoid failure, I'd be successful by default. And failure was always seen for me as a negative, something I didn't want to happen. I mean, none of us do. We don't want to get it wrong. We don't want to fail. We don't want people to see us fail, but we don't want that feeling it brings on ourselves as we didn't make it, we're not good enough. And over the years, my relationship with failure changed. And one of the lessons that I learned, and certainly the biggest impact this had on me, was failure is not an option. It's kind of inevitable. And I know this doesn't sound great, but sometimes failure is the path to success. It's only by having those failures and learning those lessons that we get a step closer to our successes. And when I started to realize that actually failure was something that was going to happen anyway, and that in fact every failure I had led me a step closer to success, I became more comfortable with navigating the failures when they arose. Because when we look at people that have made it, the people we aspire to be, it's not that they're doing it right and we're doing it wrong. It's that they've made the mistakes, they've had their failures, and they've learned as a result, and that's what makes them successful. Michael Jordan is probably the most well-known basketball player, certainly one of the most successful basketball players in history. Yet he said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots. I've lost more than 300 games. And 26 times I've been trusted to take the winning shot and missed." He says, "I've failed over and over again, and that is why I succeed." Even the most successful people fail. And with failure, it's something, rather than avoiding, we need to embrace and learn from, and to know that every failure we make is a step closer to success. And it helps us often not to give up. Because when we fail, it's so tempting to want to throw in the towel and say, look, I tried, I failed, it's obviously not meant to be. But if we give up now, we don't know how close we could have been to success. And if we do give up now, all the work we've put in to date, all those previous failures that we've learned from, it'll all be for nothing. And once I'd figured out what I wanted to do with my life, who I was as a person, what was going to bring me meaning and purpose, I set off on my journey as a life coach, as an author. I'd written my book. It was not a bestseller. I had 0 coaching clients. I was putting on events in my local town, and sometimes nobody would show up. My first royalty check was worth less than $5. And yet it didn't stop me. Every time I failed, I got a step closer to being successful. I learned something, and it improved me as a person. Failure is how we succeed, but so often it's also what stops us. It's the fear of failure that keeps us rooted to the spot. So ask yourself now, what is your biggest dream in life? And then ask yourself, what's stopping you?